I listened to every video on the Blackbeard Strawhat matchups I could find. Huge waste of time. None of them came even close to the truth. In this video I will present to you the actual one-on-one pairings between Strawhats and Blackbeard pirates. Everyone knows that Luffy is going to win against Blackbeard, that Zoro will beat Shiryu and that Usopp will defeat Augur. I won't waste your time discussing the obvious. Most mistakenly put Chopper vs Doc Q in the same category, but this highly anticipated matchup will not materialize. Sanji vs Lafitte. Lafitte is named after a French pirate. Sanji would be from France if he lived in our world. During the time skip, he had to live among cross-dressers. Lafitte looks androgynous. As Mr. Prince, Sanji infiltrated Crocodile's casino. Lafitte infiltrated Mary Joa to suggest Blackbeard as Crocodile's replacement. Sanji can walk in the air. Lafitte can fly by bringing out wings. His arms turn into the wings. Without his arms, he has to rely on his legs, which ought to be strong because he is a step dancer. His fighting style will be based on kicking, just like that of Sanji. While the two have a similar fighting style, they have opposite personalities. Lafitte was a cruel sheriff in the past. He always acts cold, like Ichi, Niji and Yonji, how Judge wanted Sanji to be. Sanji is defined by compassion. He has to help people in need. Fighting Lafitte will bring back memories from his abusive childhood. He will fight what he almost became himself. Boa Hancock vs Catarina Devon. Hancock is not yet a Straw Hat, but she intends to become one. She has to leave Amazon Lily and she wants to be with Luffy. As a Straw Hat, she will have to defeat the Crescent Moon Hunter again. Devon collects heads of beautiful women, so Hancock is her #1 target. She will have learned from getting one-shotted last time. Like Momonga, she will find a way to not get petrified instantly again. Hancock won't be able to rely on hacks. Even without that, she's extremely strong. She has Conqueror's Haki after all. Devon can only hope to win by exploiting her emotional immaturity. 31-year-old Hancock fawns over Luffy like a 13-year-old. Devon saw the Luffy poster on Amazon Lily. She is aware of her weakness. She will use her devil fruit to turn into Luffy. It will be difficult for Hancock to kick someone that looks like her beloved, just as it was for Sanji to kick Bon Clay when he had turned himself into Nami. Jinbe vs Jesus Burgess. Jinbe is called First Son of the Sea. Jesus Burgess is named after the Son of God. Jinbe and Burgess have a similar build. Big upper body and small legs. They fight by throwing, punching and creating shockwaves with the latter. Both are martial artists. Jinbe is a master of Fishman Karate. Burgess is a pro wrestler. A champion like his nickname states. He always wears the ceremonial belt. Jinbe studied Fishman Karate since he was a child. When Oda drew him as a boy, he already had a black belt. Jinbe will prove that his belt is better. He might even take the champion's belt from Burgess after his win. Real life karate is mostly about striking, yet Jinbe is also a skilled grappler. He throws enemies around like an aikido or judo practitioner. Those martial arts revolve around the idea of using an opponent's strength against them. Exactly what you need to do against the user of the strong fruit, perhaps the physically strongest human in One Piece. Franky vs Vasco Shot. General Franky is quite big. Vasco Shot is the second tallest Blackbeard pirate, only behind Wolf. Franky has a funny hairstyle. Vasco wears a funny hat. He also has a star tattoo on his face. Franky has a star on each forearm. Vasco likes to burn things down. Franky can breathe fire. Vasco talks about raping women. Franky is a pervert in a light-hearted way. He exposes himself in public and calls himself pervert as if it is something positive. In Wano, Franky fought overflowing Sasaki, the only person besides heavy drinker Vasco Shot with an epithet related to alcohol. Vasco is powered by sake, Franky by cola. He can fuel himself with beverages other than cola, though that alters his personality. When he had only access to tea, he became more relaxed. Perhaps Vasco somehow swaps Franky's cola with alcohol to weaken him. He will also use it to make himself stronger. Like Kaido, Vasco might unlock additional fighting techniques by reaching certain levels of drunkenness. Nico Robin vs Sanjuan Wolf. During the time skip, Robin was sent to Tequila Wolf, which sounds suspiciously similar to Sanjuan Wolf. Both Robin and Wolf have eaten paramecias related to body growth. Wolf can grow his own body. Robin can grow her body parts everywhere. She even learned how to create massive body parts, which enables her to take on giants. As with Sanji and Lafitte, Robin and Wolf have similar powers while being opposites personality-wise. When she was just 8 years old, Robin already behaved behaved like an adult. She became an archaeologist at that time. When Ohara was buster called, she had to flee on her own. She had to grow up fast. Wolf still has not grown up. The 99-year-old behaves like a child, whines impatiently to Blackbeard. He also still has milk teeth. Young and mature Robin will defeat old and infantile Wolf. Before that happens, Blackbeard will attack Shanks and Wolf will help beat the Red Hair Pirates. As I explained in another video, his Red Hair Pirates opponent will be Jaguar D. Saul. Robin will have to avenge her mentor. Brook vs Doc Q. Doc Q is so frail he can barely walk. He looks as if he could die at any moment. Brook died, but due to his devil fruit his corpse is still walking. Doc Q is dressed like an undertaker and carries a scythe like the Grim Reaper. When someone has died, the undertaker buries the corpse and the Reaper brings the soul to the underworld. Brook can already access the underworld via his devil fruit. He is also a swordsman, well suited to fight against a scythe wielder. His sword is hidden in his cane. Doc Q hides his cutting weapon in a bag on his back. Most importantly, Brook is immune to Doc Q's devil fruit. Only he can withstand the diseases. Luffy and Zoro should have strong enough haki to counter the effects, but most Strawhats have not. Just as pessimistic Usopp had to take on Perona because her ghosts didn't affect him, Skeleton Brook has to face Doc Q. Chopper could try to make antidotes. He made one against the Ice Oni virus in Wano, but that took time. Doc Q can probably make a new illness every second. Not possible to produce antidotes that quickly, while at the same time defending against scythe slashes. The Ice Oni virus didn't do anything to Brook in the first place. Perhaps bone diseases work against him, in which case he already has an antidote, milk. There is still stronger to deal with, a horse, now with wings, thanks to the Pegasus Devil Fruit. Fortunately, Brook's body is so light that he can jump very high. He can almost fly. Reaching the Pegasus won't be an issue. Chopper vs Avalo Pizarro. Even with Jinbe, Brook and Franky as part of the crew, Chopper is the least human Straw Hat. He was born a mere reindeer. When he acquired humanity through a devil fruit, he was still considered a monster by the people of Drum. The least human of the Titanic captains has to be Avalo Pizarro. Like Chopper, he has horns. He lacks some upper teeth. His mustache resembles whiskers. His eyes are slit and he even meows. His hair looks like a lion's mane. Lions and other big cats prey on deer. Pizarro is a lot like the person that Chopper suffered under, Warpol. Both are former kings who ruled tyrannically, who had their people rise up against them, and who entered piracy when they lost their crown. Warpol ate the Munch Munch fruit, which allows him to even eat objects like metal. Pizarro's favorite dish is shark fin soup, a controversial dish that animal rights activists want outlawed. Warpol is able to eat all things, and Pizarro can eat all animals. When Luffy and Sanji met Chopper, they joked about eating him, or saving him up as emergency food. This joke could turn serious for Chopper in his fight against the corrupt king. Pizarro ate the island fruit. He can merge with anything non-living on an island and control it. He can hide in walls, for example. Brûlé could use mirrors as portals, yet Chopper managed to get to her. He used a decoy of carrot as bait and caught her. He will set up a trap for Pizarro too. Like a wild animal, the island man will fall into it. Thus, Chopper will have proven his own humanity and Pizarro's lack of it. Nami vs Miss Bakkin. Nami's one-on-ones have only ever been against women. Oda won't break the pattern, yet putting her against Devon would be a waste. Even transforming into Belmare wouldn't offer an advantage against cold calculating Nami. I put Devon against Hancock, so there's no female Titanic captain left, but that could change. Kuzan is not a genuine Blackbeard pirate. After his inevitable betrayal, he will be replaced by a woman, who will be Nami's opponent. Former Rocks pirate Miss Bakkin is as close to bad timeline Nami as you can get. Bakkin's dominant personality trait is greed, just like Nami's. Bakkin looks like a kobold. She's only 2 feet tall and wears a green hat. Kobolds are associated with a pot of gold at the end of a rainbow. Money and weather might be Nami's favorite topics. The 2 women each have a living weapon. Bakkin orders around her supposed son Weevil. Nami controls the cloud Zeus. Both these weapons are gluttonous. Nami got Zeus on her side by feeding him thunderbolts. Weevil is fat. Zeus is named after the Greek god, who was the son of Titan Kronos. Weevil claims to be the son of Whitebeard, a titan in the One Piece world. Zeus was created out of parts of Big Mom's soul. Weevil might be a clone created from Whitebeard's DNA. I want to end this video with some additional matchups. The fight between Luffy and Blackbeard will parallel the fight between Roger and Rocks. At God Valley, Roger was backed up by his rival Garp, who was a 38-year-old Vice Admiral. 36-year-old Vice Admiral Smoker, Luffy's biggest pursuer, will back up the Strawhats against Blackbeard. He will fight Kid. I already made videos about Kid allying with Blackbeard and defeating Kuzan. That alliance will still be intact when Luffy fights Teach. Smoker will avenge his friend Kuzan. Tashigi will have to beat Killer. The two might seem way too weak for the job, but I'm sure they will be stronger when we next see them. Smoker might bring with him some Seraphim, at least as Hawk. In another video I speculated that Blackbeard would have Muria make a powerful zombie by using the shadow of Shanks after he defeats the Red Hair Pirates. As Hawk will fight the Shanks zombie.